United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Item C, celebration.
Good evening. I'd like to call up Ms. Miller right now. We have a celebration of Diana Remick.
Yeah, so it's my privilege to recognize Mrs. Diana Remick tonight. First, she was nominated for the 2026 Colorado Teacher of the Year Award, and she made it all the way to the semifinalist round, which in of itself is huge. So shortly after that, she found out that she received or she was being recognized for an award for the 2025 John Morton Excellence in Teaching of Economics Award for her excellence in her after-school enrichment program that focuses on K-2 financial literacy. This past week, or ish ago, she was able to attend the CEE 64th Financial Literacy and Economic Conference in New Orleans to receive her award. And she also had the honor of being a presenter at that conference. All expenses paid, and there was also a cash award attached to that also. So just want to say congratulations here. We're very proud of you.
It was a wonderful conference. I met a lot of people there. Personal finance and economics is not really taught at the elementary level. So lots of questions about how that was implemented, questions about like, do you really teach opportunity cost scarcity? And I was like, yes, I do. And so it was exciting. And a lot of people asked me for my program and what I'm using and whatnot. And so I'll pour that on. Met some really wonderful people there. And so that was pretty neat. So very exciting.
Well done.
Very much.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Good job.
Good job.
Thank you for being here.
All right, item D, audience portion. Do anyone sign up?
We do not.
Right, and letter E, approval of the agenda.
There are no additions or changes to the agenda, so I recommend approval.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Questions, comments? Roll call.
Mrs. Ayala,
Aye.
Mrs. Hines,
Aye.
Mr. Colomans,
Aye.
All right, number 2, consent agenda.
All right, I recommend as approval of the consent agenda as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second that. I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Questions or comments?
Second question, what exactly is the district advisory council?
So it is the state requires us to do, it's called a DAC, a District Advisory Council, and we have to have representative of parents. We have students on the committee, administrators, teachers, and we meet, we'll meet to work on the budget next year, but it's like kind of, it's an advisory council that is required by the state law.
Is that kind of like the old accountability committee?
It's exactly it. It just changed
the name.
Yes. And it is in one of the statutes from CDE.
We have one for each building, and then that's the district one.
Oh,
It's where I find out the most information, what's going on with the district. It's also where parents have the strongest voice and community members.
Yeah, the school one is called the SAC, the School Accountability Committee. So each school is required to have one, and then of course the district or DAC.
We call PI, right?
Yeah, we call PI for primary and intermediate. I don't know the one for, yeah, that one for the high school. And then is there one for the trade?
There is.
I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
Four acronyms.
Yeah.
Make a fortune having a book for educational acronyms.
We actually printed out, Jill made a list of acronyms because the parents were asking for it last DAC. So she made a big old list of all the acronyms that we use.
Can I get a copy of that?
And I was like, can you disperse that?
Yeah.
I'll bring it in
Awesome.
November.
All right, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala,
Aye.
Mrs. Hines,
Aye.
Mr. Coleman,
Aye.
All right, number 3, financial report.
Okay, we have, Kim Griego, because she should be, there's Kim.
Hello.
All right, you're up.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Am I allowed to share my screen? You're gonna let me?
Hold a second. You guys can see that, right? Okay.
In your board packets, you received all of these financial reports. As promised, we want to make sure that you have all details of everything that backs up what we're talking about when it comes to the financials. We don't really need to, we want to make sure that you have all of this information. I'm just going to summarize it up tonight. And then if you have any questions on any of the other reports, I'll gladly go over those as well. Looking at the balance sheet, this is one of the main reports that we are looking at almost on a daily basis to a weekly basis at this moment. Each week, every Tuesday, we meet with Patrick and the finance team or in the district office team and go over all financials. So we are going over every single one of these reports basically on a weekly basis at this moment. Looking at this balance sheet as of this date, this is the first quarter. So this is July through September. As you notice, we have 13 pages here. So the balance sheet is broken up by each fund. So this way you can see it by each fund. But listening to the board meeting when Sarah and I were there with you guys last month, talking with Patrick and the finance team, wanted to summarize it up more for you so you can kind of get a one-stop shop where we're at. So what I'd like to do is just kind of jump over to the cash flow report, because basically it summarizes everything that's on the balance sheet, the income statements and such. So if you'd like me to go back to those other ones, I'll gladly go back, but I'm just going to kind of talk about this one in general. So at the top of the page, what we've added is what is the adopted budget and what are we based off of our funding? So this is what our board approved budget was as of June. And then off to the right here, we have what is our historic student count. So just to kind of give you an idea on the historical and what's going on with student count. As we continue down on the page, I have the beginning fund balance and just want to point out it is unaudited. It will possibly change once the audit is complete, but right now we're just going to have it say unaudited. So this is what we're bringing forward. Then listed down below, the very first column is your adopted budget. This is the adopted budget with all funds. So looking at the revenues, we're expecting 21 million. 206,640 is what we're expecting in revenues, is what we budgeted for. Then you have the breakout of the expenses. What does salaries look like? What is the benefits? And then when I have the 0300 to 0900, those are your purchase services, supplies, insurances, all of the other mumble jumble that we can go into the detail report if you would like to see what that all makes up. So when you look at this, our adopted budget, we were expecting a net change of a loss of 105,000 overall budget through all funds. So that is just the adopted budget as of June 30th, or as of June of 25. Now looking at the activity that has happened as of September 25th, that is going to be our next column over. This is all of our actual year-to-date, what has happened, what is going on right now. So looking at this, we should be at 25% of the budget. Revenues are a little bit on the low side because we know we have not received any property taxes, but we are receiving our state funding. The other thing that I want to bring up is we did just receive this yesterday with some title funds that we've been waiting $300,000 for. So next month, you're going to see a nice little jump in revenues, but just know that we have to pay out our expenses for a lot of our title funds and our grants and waiting for our refunds to come in. So that's why the revenue might be on a little on the low side at the beginning of the year. But continuing down through the salaries and benefits and such, we're right in the 25 percentile of looking at budget to actuals. I'm going to stop right there and see if anybody has any questions at this moment before I continue down. Okay. Below that is basically, this is all the cash available. What is all in the CDs, Colorado Trust, and our operating accounts. We have to reduce the TABOR. That's a mandated. So what is our daily expense? So now Patrick can clearly identify what is our truly daily expense overall with expense for budgeting purposes. We have roughly 82.5 days cash on hand as of September 30th. And then I just gave you a little breakdown at the very bottom. What does 30 days cash on hand look like? I'll gladly add anything more. Is this too much? I want to make sure I have a tool here for you to summarize so you can see where we are financially.
Did I hear you say we have to reduce the TABOR fund?
Well, I reduced it from our total cash available is what I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I'm back.
Patrick, did you want to add anything to this? Like I mentioned, we do watch this on a weekly basis now. Is there anything else that you want me to add?
No, I think you've covered what we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
We are really paying attention to, where we're at until we get those taxes back with the audit. We have to be very careful. So we talked to all the principals about spending to make sure that we're really paying attention because this is not a lot of wiggle room right now.
I think this is really great.
Yeah, I like that we have all the reports to look at, but then we also have the little snapshot sheet. So we can dig in deeper, but then we also have the one that summarizes it all up. I think that's nice.
Wonderful.
Question on the check register report.
Yep.
Are those just checks that have been cut? Are they just ACH payments? Combination of them or?
Any payment, any checks or vouchers, ACH payments that have gone out for the month of September. This is just something that we share with other boards, just to, again, totally be an open book so you can see what expenses are going out. One thing that I can tell you, we have all payroll liabilities current. So that means all Colorado Department of Revenue, the IRS, we have worked with every single vendor. And everything is current at this moment. So you might see a couple extra payments for like state of Colorado in here, because that's when we were finishing reconciling everything with them.
The checks that we write that can be an ACH, have we switched those over to an ACH so we don't have lost checks hanging out?
Shay has been working on that. So slowly we've been integrating more and more as she's doing her check runs each week. We also have, we're starting to use it with the Fund 23, the student activity and athletics. They will start using the ACH. If we're able to for these vendors, we're going to use it for, so like you said, you know, nothing's hanging out there. I am giving Patrick on a weekly basis what our outstanding checks look like. He is going to be getting the open accounts payable weekly as well, that we're starting that tomorrow. So he is physically seeing everything in hand before it is approved to go out the door.
And I'm meeting with them twice a week, one with the admin team, and then once just with myself and Sarah and Kim. And they've been really good. I will say this, they've been good about asking me what I want, what you guys want. So they've been tailoring what they're giving us to make sure that it's in ways that I can understand, and it's going to be answering the questions you guys have. So if there's anything you want us to add or change, please let us know.
Yep, I want to make sure you have everything and it makes sense on your end. The finance checklist, we do have all of our quarterly taxes. I'm excited to say it's been several years from what I understand, and we have all quarterly taxes paid on time and before the due date. So we took that as a huge win on one of our Tuesday morning meetings. The other thing that Shay is working on, and I worked with her today, was the Medicaid reporting. That is due by end of the week. And as of this afternoon, I believe she was just about ready to submit everything. So we're on top of all of that as well.
Guys, I got a couple of questions about the balance sheet.
Mhm.
And I saw this. What is that what is the $50,000 cash with the treasurer? And where is it reflected with the money that they're withholding from us right now? Where I don't see that figure anywhere. What is that $50,000?
That is still the audit entry from fiscal year 24 that was put on the books. At the end of each fiscal year, property taxes, we have to defer some property tax revenue and record it as cash with treasurer. So this is still on the books as of fiscal year 24. I did not want to release it until I know the audit is correct. And I will have to be putting another one on the books again for fiscal year 25.
Okay. And then what are the taxes receivable and then those two other accounts receivable line items?
So taxes receivable, this is our property tax receivable from fiscal year 24 that was put on the books. This
Okay.
goes in line with the 8105. If you would like, I'll gladly, change some of these descriptions so it's easier for you to identify. The accounts receivable, this would have been any revenue that we were expecting for fiscal year 24 or fiscal year 25, but had not received at that time of the close of the fiscal year. So that's where we would put it in the receivable as we're expecting it still.
What kind of accounts receivable do the school district have?
This one is a grant code of 3120. So 3120, I believe, is CTE.
Okay, that's mostly the accounts receivable would be grant. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And food service, we would have some for food service as well. But again, that's all grant related. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. And then I just have a couple other questions towards the end with let's just start with Fund 23.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find it here. So on Fund 23,
Mm-hmm.
what would be fund equity? What would be the restricted fund balance? How would that be restricted?
All Fund 20, yeah, Fund 23, because it's the athletics or activities accounts. Those are all restricted to student activities, basically.
Okay, Okay, that makes sense.
Just a different
And
way
then-
of recording it, yeah, and in the fund balance area. I just
Okay.
want to add in for Fund 23, we did bring in all of athletics and activities, so it is in the one financial software now.
That took a lot of work, I can see that, so thank you. And then in Fund 31, what is under the long-term liabilities? What is that? Deferred
These are-
property tax?
These are all those property taxes that we have to record at the fiscal year. So this is the same thing that is in the operating fund, but this is in the bond fund now. So this
I
is
got you.
the
It all
property
ties
taxes for that side. Mhm.
Back to the, yeah, okay.
Yep.
And then my last question is in Fund 41.
Mhm.
There is a restricted fund in what, a capital project restricted fund? What is that?
This one I am waiting to hear back from the auditors on because before Heather had left, she had explained to me that Best had been completed, so there should be no money in this account. I don't want to touch this until the auditors have reviewed it. So that's what is in this account. There has been no activity in this account.
Okay, that just caught my attention.
Yep.
I was like, what is that? So, okay.
Nope. Great questions. Mhm.
That's all. You guys have done a great job.
All right.
Well, I gotta ask my last question. Okay. You know what it's gonna be? Audit. What's up with the audit?
Kim, why don't you take that one?
We did have an email with the auditors. We're working on the single audit. I know Patrick's working on setting up a meeting to get us all together. Currently, I did have a meeting, Sarah and I had a meeting with Dimitri, the auditor, last week, and they are running a little bit behind. I can't, I have no answers at this moment, but I'm hoping when we have our meeting with Patrick and everybody that we can nail down some time with him is where we're working towards.
So then after this audit is submitted, then we have another audit due December.
Yep.
Depending on time frame of this audit, are we going to hit that December deadline or do you think we'll need an extension?
I honestly, I don't think we'll hit it. I really don't. This is just Kim's opinion. Dimitri could pull, something out of his hat, but I mean, I've answered, I have all questions answered on our side of it. We're just waiting on any more questions from them and where are they at and those kind of things.
So then when we get the extension, that extends that deadline to May,
March.
is that correct?
March
March.
31st. Mhm.
The one thing, the one thing that they did tell us is as soon as we get to 24, the 25 is gonna be a lot quicker because the hard part was going back 2 years and cleaning up all the, just cleaning everything up. But he felt that once you get the 24 done, the 25 will be a lot smoother because a lot of that will be cleaned up.
So it's likely we'll hit that March deadline.
That is the goal. That's the goal. I usually, I work with them on several of their audits. So I'm very close in, communication with them. So whenever they're asking for something, I'm, trying to turn it around within a day period. So.
Do they have everything they need for the 24 audit?
At this point, yes, from on my side of it, yes.
So they've got everything they need, they just need to get it done.
Correct. Mhm.
And what they had told us was the biggest delay is they're taking care of all the districts that are on track.
Mhm.
And that was, that is the big thing is everybody hitting their deadlines. And as soon as we get this cleaned up, we won't have this problem again.
Well, I don't like somebody telling us that we're paying that somebody else is more important than we are.
Well, I think it's because we've missed so
I
many,
get it, yeah.
and so we're kind of being fit in when it can be fit in. Is that an accurate statement?
Yeah, because the FY 25 audits, they're all on track and the people, if it's scheduled for that time. So I had mentioned to him that as soon as we have both audits completed, I wanted to get on his books for next year's audit right away. So this way we have that time frame. I really like using the September time frame. I want to get it done. Gives us a couple months to get everything all nailed down.
I sure hope the county sends us a nice Christmas gift for all the interest we're earning for them.
Right, right.
Or any other questions? Is this an action item?
Yes.
I'd entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the September financial report as presented.
Second that?
I have a motion and a second. Questions, comments?
I know you guys have put in a lot of time and it's much improved. Thank you.
Well, on the Dimitri, our auditor, he's what everybody's told me, he's one of the best, but he's running the snags because of our past auditor basically washed their hands with us, so he's having to go in and track everything down. But I do have confidence when we talk to him that, we're on the right track. And Abacus has been great about getting them everything in a timely manner.
Roll call?
Mrs. Ayala.
Aye.
Mrs. Hines. Aye. Mr. Colomans.
Aye.
All right, number 5, presentation.
Yes, so we have Ms. Miller here from primary school.
Excuse me,
Oh.
1 second. We need to approve minutes first.
Skip number 4, thank you. Number 4, minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from September 22nd, 2025.
A second, thank you.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the regular meeting of September 22nd, 2025. Questions, comments? Roll call?
Mrs. Ayala.
Aye.
Mrs. Hines.
Aye.
Mr. Colomans.
Aye.
Now, number 5, presentation.
Okay, so we're gonna have a different principal come in monthly. We had Julie come in first because, figured she might not be here for a bit. I'll turn it over to Ms. Miller.
Thank you. So I gave you a handout I'll touch on a little bit in just a second, but I told Greg I got your acronym decoder down at the bottom.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. We've had a great first quarter at the primary school. Really the big, heavy focus has been engaging in our really important work with Josh Smith from TNTP. For the purpose of supporting and improving our literacy and math scores and supporting the intermediate schools turnaround status. So Josh visits our campus once every other week and we do walkthroughs together. He supports us with PLCs, which are professional learning communities. And the main focus of those is to support our staff with the implementation of our new math curriculum. So we will work through internalizing units, we'll work through internalizing lessons, and we'll do data dives together on how that instruction is going. So that's really the bulk of how we're spending our time together. So from our first quarter wrap up, just a few bright spots from our walkthroughs, and then this is the handout you have is just our overall goals on the left-hand side and where we ended with our data collection on the right-hand side. But as far as our bright spots for walkthroughs, we are noticing near universal use of our high-quality curriculum resources. So I know that was a question is, if we're purchasing these curriculums, are we using them? And the answer is yes, universally across the board in ELA and math. We have near universal evidence of a strong culture of learning, meaning that there's clear expectations in classroom, we have decent pacing, good positive classroom culture, strong routines and procedures and relationships amongst our teachers and students. And there's evidence of attempts to gather data on student mastery. So that's really where we're stepping into this second quarter with Josh. So we're reviewing daily cool down data. So that's specifically tied to our math curriculum, but again, the main focus is on math, but we step into literacy a little bit every once in a while. So what the handout outlines is, like I said, on the left-hand side, you'll see Q1 benchmarks. Under our HQIM, which is high quality instructional material, is our Big Rock 1, so our big main focus for the year. You'll see what our goals were, and then the highlighted areas are where we landed in data collection with Josh. So we made or exceeded all of our goals within that Big Rock. And then Big Rock 2 is around high quality instruction. Again, our goals are on the left-hand side and the highlighted areas are on the right side. So really proud of Q1 and what we've been able to accomplish. We wrapped up Q1 with parent-teacher conferences that went really well. Had great turnout from those. And then some fun events along the way. Mr. Krumholtz and Mr. Romero were able to join us for a pumpkin patch trip to Hiracata Farms, which they provided to us free of cost this year. So we really want to say thank you to you guys and to Hiracata Farms as well. So it's been a great first quarter and we're proud of the work that we're working through and accomplishing our goals. Guys have any questions on that so far?
What's that last goal on the left-hand side?
At the very bottom?
Yes.
The level 3 or higher refers to a document that we have called the La Junta Vision of Instruction. And what we're looking for is culture of learning in one section of that document. 3 or higher would mean that 80% or more of our students are engaged in the learning of the classroom, meaning we're not swinging from the ceiling tiles. Kids are engaged in the lesson. The teacher has command of the class. There's good control. All those things that I highlighted around strong routines and procedures. So by implementing those things, you would say that like 3 or higher would be 80% of students are doing that. 4 would be 90% and above.
You're at 92, that's pretty good.
Yeah, we were very proud of that. Culture of learning is strong at the primary school. We felt that way even before we set these goals. What we're really stepping into in Q2 is essential content and making sure that our students are engaged in learning that is at their grade level, age appropriate. So not too high, but also we want to make sure that they aren't doing work that's too easy for them to. We want to get the just right work for kids. So, but those goals are going to be a little bit harder this second quarter, but first quarter we were really proud of the progress and the fact that we made all of our goals very easily. We anticipated that, but we also are proud that we were able to do that too.
Just want to say kudos to the teachers for diving into this math curriculum and really running with it. I hear so much good feedback. The kids are loving the new math curriculum.
Yes, they are.
And personally, my little one, he's not like a homework or extra work type of kid. And he got a workbook home the other day, and every night he's there working in the workbook.
Yes.
And I'm just like,
yes.
hey, that's cool. Keep doing it.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that.
It's really, really nice that the teachers are really, really diving into it. I think it's going to be really beneficial for the kids.
It's hard. It's hard work. And the older grade level you get to, the harder I anticipate that it gets. Mm-hmm. So they have really bought into the work. They are digging in. They bought in, but so have our kids. And I have this, tradition in the hallway. I ask kids, like, what's the best part of your day so far? And typically kids say PE, recess, lunch. I've had more kids say math this year as their number one choice than ever before. So even through the struggles that we're going through, kids love it. They're enjoying it. They're engaging in math. And I just am excited to see that progress continue. So I'm glad your kiddo is too.
Yeah, good.
Thank you. Thank you. And you want to copies for the other ladies?
All right, number 6, superintendent's report and recommendation.
Okay, so, just a quick few dates. October is Principal Appreciation Month, so I just want to take the moment and thank all of our principals for all their hard work. They've done a really good job with a lot of changes that were coming in, and just have a great team, so we couldn't do it without them, and we appreciate all their hard work. So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Board training will be held the first week of December, most likely on December 2nd, a Tuesday. I'm just working with Dan Jorgensen from CDE to get that taken care of. That is grant funded, so that's going to be taking care of all the costs. We're working with TNTP to do strategic planning. We'll be getting that next semester. That is also going to be used as an easy grant to pay for that. So I have a meeting with TNTP set up this week because they have somebody different than Josh that does the strategic planning. So it'll be board, teachers, our DAC committee being involved with that.
What's the time, what period of time will this strategic plan cover?
I don't have an answer to that because I'm doing my initial meeting with TNTP this week. I'm hoping that we do it in second semester, but I'm not sure what their time processes are like. My goal would be, of course, we wrap it up, in March and April and ready to go. But like I said, I'm not sure what their system looks like.
Would that just be for one school year or for like 5 years?
It's going to be a long-term planning.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Sorry, I misunderstood the question.
You're good.
Couple kudos, we had the musical Beetlejuice the other night. Unfortunately, I was at a conference, I wasn't able to attend, but everybody I talked to said it was amazing, and the kids and the staff did a great job. Band, big deal, they placed 9th place at the state marching competition, so they had a 5-point increase in regionals to state, so he's doing a good job in the right direction. The kids are doing a good job. Homecoming was a great success. I saw a lot of you at the different events. Kids did a really good job. I was really impressed with the culture, the community support. It was really neat to see everybody coming out to all the different events. So that's exciting. It was just a great week. My favorite moments of since we met last, so we have 2. One was watching the Tiger Trade Academy kids paint downtown. I got to come by, and it was really nice hanging out with those kids and the staff. And my second one was Miss Miller stole my thunder, but I was attending the pumpkin patch at the primary kids. I had a contest. They were seeing who had the biggest pumpkin. They did an amazing job. So it was thank you guys for setting that up. It was a lot of fun. And that's what I have for updates. Any questions?
We talked, but how did the October count turn out?
So we should be finalized tomorrow, but right now it looks like we're at 1196.
And I don't have that number.
The funded at the state was 1260. Remember though that we won't lose all of it because they're still doing the averaging.
Yeah.
So those 2 big years prior will help us out, but it'll still bring us down. We just don't know how much.
What is that? What are we down at, about 30?
No, we're down from the projected number of 1260. We're down about 64.
60.
A good chunk of that was included with the ones that went to like homeschooling and online school and like things like those numbers that we got.
I think it's May.
Yeah.
From kids.
Yeah.
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 I think it was right before school was out.
We were kind of anticipating
It was.
that.
Yeah, it was 46 at that time,
I think something like that.
45, 46 at that time.
We'll finalize that numbers. Dean Rangel, the central office, spends a lot of time, does a really good job of making sure that it's accurate. Because we have to prove a lot of the kids that are actually attending. So there's a lot of work going into that, but we should be, I think she told me we're finalizing it tomorrow.
Any other questions? Okay, moving on. Number 7, new business. Approve revised abacus contract.
And this is with the addition of the extra duties that they've taken on this year.
I didn't see how, is it just, oh, sorry, yeah, you're right. So- Oh,
I make a motion to approve the contract with Abacus.
second,
I have a motion and a second to approve the revised abacus contract. Question, comment?
is this open-ended? I didn't see an end date.
It is for the school year.
For the school, okay.
Yes.
Okay, yes, I just, okay.
Oh, yeah, because it says 2024. Okay.
And we will, as we get into the budgeting next year, we'll, see where we're at. My hopes is that we keep them on, going into next year, and then we start, once we get into a couple solid years, then we look at next steps.
Wasn't it just a little bit more than hiring only like maybe 10, what was it?
Once you figured in the benefits, I
think it
might have been a lot.
It was even less, yeah, we were trying to look at,
Yeah.
if it evened out, if it was less, yeah.
So the HR portion that they're taking on, is that all of that position's work, or is it just like a chunk?
It's the financial piece of it. So it's making sure we have everybody in para, that we're doing all those, we're getting everybody, their pay stubs are correct, all the taxes, so it's that portion of it. The other part of HR, where we traditionally think of human resource, looking at, making sure employees are, following, all the laws, and we're following all those and hiring practices. That'll be taken on by myself and my team.
Okay.
So those pieces will be in-house, and then the portion where we need their help, if we got in trouble with a lot of that, they're taking over that role. But we're also working very closely with them. I do appreciate our weekly meetings that we have with the team, and then with Sarah and I and Kim on the separate one, we get to talk about kind of big picture things. So we do daily operations one day, and then kind of big picture of where we're headed on the second one.
So then, talks about renewing it for next year, you would look to renew the both pieces of that, or just the one piece?
We still gotta get, well, I'm not sure. Yes, I hope so. I hope we renew both pieces, but we will look at where we're at and what I feel our needs are. Cause they have been invaluable, just helping us, cleaning up a lot of different things, and they've been really good. So I don't want to jump ship until we're 100% confident we have the infrastructure to do that.
Any other questions? Roll call?
Mrs. Ayala.
Aye.
Mrs. Hines.
Aye.
Mr. Colomans.
Aye.
All right, letter B, approved revised policies GDD and DKA on first revised reading.
So, I recommend approval of the revised policy, GDD and DKA on the first reading. GDD, is revised due to payout, month chart changing from July to June in order to stay within the fiscal year. And, the second one, DKA, is revised due to changing, to one payroll a month instead of two. So we're now doing one monthly payroll instead of we were doing two, and one has been help us a lot to streamline the process.
So that was the reason to go to one.
Yes. And most of our staff certified had been on one. There was just a few outliers in this, and there were required a second one, but we, instead of, it's just easier for us to do one, it's cleaner, and that's why we went to that.
Entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve revised policies TDD and DKA on first reading.
Second?
I have a motion and a second to approve revised policies GDD and DKA on first revised reading. Questions, comments?
So the pay, when they had it split, it was like, was it like para, or like the paras that would get 2 times a month?
No, it wasn't even pairs, it was like extra duties.
Oh, okay.
That was the big one, so, some classified, but we wanted to just get it to one payroll to make life, just more streamlined for our folks that are doing all this.
That makes sense.
Roll call?
Mrs. Ayala,
Aye.
Mrs. Hines. Aye. Mr. Colovitz.
Aye.
All right, letter C, approve intermediate school gym floor refinishing.
Yes, so, it should have been done about 3 years ago. It is in desperate need of being refinished and, scraped down. We've done the high schools. We do the high schools on a regular basis, but we really need to make sure we're doing the same thing with the intermediate. It's just, right now it's peeling and, it's slick, so we want to make sure that we're able to, this should be regular maintenance that we do, and we're about 3 years behind on getting that taken care of.
Entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the intermediate school gym refinishing in the amount of $36,731.50.
Second?
I have a motion and a second to approve the intermediate school gym floor refinishing in the amount of $36,731.50. Questions, comments?
When will this be done?
Over Christmas. Yes.
Is this gonna get added to like the maintenance cycle to fill in future years?
So yes, in future years, what we're gonna be doing at the high school this year, for example, is they'll come in during, either Thanksgiving, Christmas break and wax it and clean it to make sure we have maintenance, and we'll do the same thing here. So we'll refinish it this go around, and then we have to be continuing, but about every 8 to 10 years, you really need to refinish the surface.
And how many quotes did we get?
I'm not sure how many quotes we got, to be honest with you.
Is it Dave's Hardwood, the one that usually does?
They're the one, yes, they're the one that did the high school gym.
Okay. Any other questions? No, roll call.
Mrs. Ayala,
Aye.
Mrs. Hines. Aye. Mr. Colovitz.
Aye.
All right, number 8, board comment.
We'll acknowledge the high school theater production, an opportunity to go to that. It was great. Did a fantastic job. Congratulations to the band, and to our softball team, for qualifying for state. Just also wanted to acknowledge the passing of John Kennedy. He was a longtime in district employee, and he was the head of maintenance and facility, and without him, we would not have a new primary school. He birthed out that project from the very beginning to the very end, and so condolences to his family and his friends. And I had an opportunity to work with John on that project, and he was great. So we missed him. He left a good mark for us on the district.
I'd like to thank all the kids that participated in the art project during the Tarantula Fest. There's quite a few pieces down there. There's gonna, continue to be some, more art down there from them because, a few artists didn't show up. Typically happens. The other thing is, yes, I enjoyed the Beetlejuice play. It was awesome. My daughter really enjoyed it. I really think we need to do a reach out with the intermediate because I think they would have enjoyed it. She was laughing and giggling the whole time. So, I mean, I know her cousin would have the lead role, but I think it was a little bit funnier because she was just like, the whole time. It was exciting. Yes, and I congratulate the softball girls and to the Lahana band. They set a goal to make it to regionals, and they did. And their second goal was to be local bands, and they did that too. So congratulations. They worked really hard and all that. I mean, they did complain, all that extra work that they put in, but I mean, they've been working really, really hard. So congratulations. And I'm trying to think of anything else. I think that's about it.
I just wanted to do a thank you to all the staff and people that have been putting in all the hard work with getting our financials on track and HR on track, and then with the new math curriculum. I feel like everyone's just kind of hit the ground running this year, and I mean, by the numbers at the primary school that Julie shared and everything else, I think we're moving in the right direction, and I'm excited for the district to see where we're gonna be at a year from now because of all the progress that we've already made and just continue to make. That's it. I will adjourn the meeting at 7:22.
So I was sitting next to the superintendent from Wiley